Baruch Hashem, it is day number 21 of our daily study of the Rambam Sefer Mitzvahs. And we have two mitzvahs today. One of them is a repeat. It's a mitzvah we studied yesterday, and I've explained to you before why it works this way. The way that we study Sefer Mitzvahs is we study whatever mitzvahs correspond to that which is being studied in the daily study of 3 chapters a day of Mishnah Torah. So in the 3 chapters a day of Mishnah Torah, we're finishing Hilchos Krishma, the laws of the recitation of Shema. The laws of recitation of Shema have 5 chapters. So today we're doing chapters 4 and 5, and we're beginning Hilchos Tefillah, the laws of prayer. So we're going to learn the mitzvahs that correspond to those 2 sections of halacha. So the first mitzvah, the mitzvah corresponding to the laws of Shema, is the mitzvah of Shema. Now, we learned it yesterday, but we'll talk a little bit about it more right now. What's interesting about Shema, we mentioned this yesterday, is that we're supposed to say it twice a day, when you lie down and when you get up. And as I mentioned yesterday, lying down and getting up is not when you as an individual happen to lie down or get up. Maybe a person works the graveyard shift. He has his nights and days flip-flop. Maybe he sleeps all day. It doesn't matter. The time for the morning Shema and the time for the evening Shema are set, and they are standardized, and they have their universal parameters for everybody. What are they? I'll say the nighttime Shema first, because actually the way the Jewish day works is it's first night and then day, just like when Hashem created. He created first the night and then the day. Vahi erev, vahi vayker, yom echad. So the nighttime Shema is from sundown until ideally before midnight, or if necessary, one can say the nighttime Shema all night until dawn. The morning Shema is from dawn until the first quarter of the day, the end of the first quarter of the day. What time is that? That really varies from every location, and throughout the solar year, it varies every single day. So you have to have a luach, that's a halachic calendar, so you can check what time is Sof Zman Kriyat Shema, the last time for saying Shema. And like I said, it varies every single day, so you always have to be aware of what time that is. Now, what's interesting about these times, and this is sort of a sneak preview and a segue into the next mitzvah that we're going to learn today. What's interesting about these times is they are biblical. You're going to say, what do you mean? Of course they're biblical. We're learning a biblical mitzvah. Well, no, not necessarily. It could be like prayer, for instance. There's a biblical commandment to pray, but the times when to pray are of rabbinic origin. It's a biblical mitzvah to pray, but what times to pray? That is something that the rabbis enacted. And that's a little sneak preview, because the next section of halachas we're going to be learning, as I mentioned, is Hilchos Tefillah, the laws of prayer. So it's a little sneak preview. The Shema, the mitzvah itself, the biblical mitzvah itself, is not just to say Shema whenever, it's to say it at these specific times, when you get up and when you lie down. Now, because the Shema is recited at specific times, meaning it is a positive time-bound commandment. You may be familiar with this principle. There's a concept called that mitzvah sese shezman grama, positive time-bound commandment. Noshim pitures, women are exempt. Women are exempt from positive time-bound commandments. Therefore, women are exempt from Shema. However, there's always a however, the Code of Jewish Law explains that women should nevertheless recite Shema not on a specific time, but they should say it as a prayer and a declaration of faith in God's oneness. So that's an interesting aspect of Shema. Okay, now, I said we had a sneak preview of our other mitzvah. We're starting Hilchos Tefillah, and I want to tell you something about Hilchos Tefillah. Hilchos Tefillah is 15 chapters, so we're doing chapter 1 today. So it's going to take us, we'll do chapter 1 today, and then we have 14 more chapters, which is going to take another 5 days. So we're going to be doing this mitzvah for 6 days, including today. So we're going to hear a lot about this mitzvah, but here it is. Here is the mitzvah. It is positive commandment number 5. And I should have mentioned, because I always like to say the number of the mitzvahs, and I didn't say it when I said the previous mitzvah, the mitzvah of Shema, because I said it yesterday, but I'll say it again today. The mitzvah of Shema is positive commandment number 10. Positive commandment number 10. Okay, and now, Positive commandment number 5. Positive commandment number 5 is prayer. Where does it say to pray? It is based on when it says, Va'avadetem es Hashem Elokeichem, and you shall serve the Lord your God. Now the Rambam asks a question. You shall serve the Lord your God. And it says various variations of such phrases throughout the Torah. The Rambam says, you shall serve the Lord your God. That's a general commandment. That's a general concept. Serving Hashem means whatever. Serve him whatever he's told you to do. Why, therefore, the Rambam asks this question? Maybe you're thinking it now too. Remember, before we even got into the mitzvahs, we had those principles. Remember 14 principles of how the Rambam determined what actually counts as a biblical commandment? Remember principle number 4? You might not remember it was principle number 4, but it was. That the Rambam doesn't count general obligations, all embracing obligations. So the Rambam says, V'yavadatem, and you should serve Hashem. You should serve Hashem. That could mean everything. So why is that a mitzvah of the 613 mitzvahs? He says, because in this context, you shall serve has a very specific meaning and connotation, which is you should pray. You should pray. Serving Hashem in this context means you should pray. So there's a biblical mitzvah to pray. And we're going to be talking about the biblical mitzvah to pray for the next 5 days. And we will see you then, God willing.